thank you for tuning in today. I'm Sydney Hunt, Senior Communications Specialist for Clear Creek ISD. And today I'm joined by some special guests, Ms. Holly Hughes, Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Education, Christy Lawrence, Assistant Director of Early Learning, and Abby Sikora's Instructional Specialist for Early Learning. And each year in April, we like to bring everyone together to talk through the important and exciting topic of pre-K and kindergarten registration, which starts throughout April, and things happen in May as well. So we want to help prepare our parents and guardians for what to expect over the next few months. So thank you all for being here today. Most of y'all have been on before, so welcome back. So let's go ahead and start. Ms. Hughes, can you maybe give some background on early learning and CCISD and why it's so important for families?
Absolutely. We're thrilled to welcome our early learners into CCISD, and we welcome them all. We have many programs available that we'll get into today, and we can't wait to share those with you. But it is so important to have our learners enter the doors as early as possible. We begin working even with some children, even at birth, certainly within our district. But it is so important, specifically for our 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds that will be entering into the school year. We know that by age 5, there's some critical points of development. 90% of the brain is developed by the age 5, and if we can have our learners in our classrooms with caring, loving, and just experts in the classrooms, we know that we'll make a great impact on the years ahead. It's said that if by starting early learning and starting in pre-K, that the rates of graduation, college attendance, certainly even scoring well on SAT are all improved, and there are studies that consistently show that. We want a firm and smart start, and that has been the theme of our work going into the school year, and it's so important. We believe that, and we want to make sure we get the message out to anyone who has a student that may be in that age range, that they connect with the school, and that we get them back into Clear Creek ISD, into our classrooms, and with our incredible teachers.
And Ms. Lawrence, let's talk through pre-K offerings in CCISD for those who may not know. What does CCISD offer and who qualifies?
Okay, we can talk about, we have 3 different programs we offer. We have free pre-kindergarten for students who qualify. We have tuition-based pre-K, and then we have early childhood special education for those students who qualify based on their identified needs for special education services.
And so for the 4-year-olds, that qualification to enter pre-kindergarten, what's that date that they have to be?
Sure, they have to be 4 on or before September the 1st, and for kindergarten, that date is 5 on or before September the 1st.
For 2022?
Correct.
Perfect. And so for the qualifications to enter the free pre-K program, can you talk through some of those?
Absolutely. So number one, we need to reside in CCISD. We need to be 4, like we just said, on or before September the 1st of 2022. We need to be and meet one of the following criteria: either limit English proficient, economically disadvantaged, homeless, the child of a parent in the military, or injured or killed while actively serving in the military, have been in the conservatorship of the state of Texas or foster care, the child of a person eligible for the Star of Texas Award as a peace officer, firefighter, or emergency medical first responder. Those are all listed on our website, which is ccisd.net/pre-K. So if you have a question about those, you can refer to our website. There's a lot to remember there.
And so CCISD has a total of 19 campuses that offer pre-K. Can you just describe the process for parents on how they find their correct campus for entering?
Absolutely. So that website that I was just referring to, and also a little later in our presentation, I believe there's a slide that talks about what documents to bring. But if you just click on the pre-K website, under pre-K locations, there's a fancy chart right there that just tells you exactly how to find your school and which feeder pattern you're in. So it's very easy. And if you have any questions, you can always contact us.
So if you don't see your school on the list or your zoned CCISD campus, chances are you're zoned to somewhere else nearby, correct?
And it's on the chart.
And
Yes.
it's full day.
Full
It's
day.
full day
Full
pre-K.
day pre-K.
All day.
All day. Lunch
Every-
lunch and breakfast included, right?
That's right.
And Miss Hughes, can you talk through like a typical day of a pre-K student within our classrooms?
Oh, I love it. I happened to be on a campus this morning and got to welcome a pre-kindergartner over at Hyde Elementary today, and the day is it's fun filled and it's active and it's filled with all types of learning activities. But certainly, our pre-K students qualify. Some qualify for transportation, so some start either on daycare bus or on one of our big yellow buses, which is really exciting about coming to elementary school because our young learners look forward to that. Certainly, or even dropped off in the parent car rider line, or even walking with siblings. But when they enter into the school, they typically either visit straight to the classroom or they will soon after visit our cafeterias and have breakfast. And if they qualify for or purchase breakfast, there's different options there once they have a meal. And that's an important time of the day. It's not just a meal time, just for parents to know. You probably know this so well already, but it is an important time to learn life skills as far as taking turns sitting at the table, managing their own food items, and having that experience of learning, talking, and also having that meal together. And that's a very active time in the morning. Certainly then after that, there is time back in the classroom, really focused on building, and I know Ms. Scores and Ms. Lawrence are going to go into this too, but really built on building language skills and the language skills of communicating vocabulary, taking turns, and also those behavioral skills of waiting in line or taking turns with a peer, and also handling big feelings that come throughout the day. And then, of course, our mathematics. There's so much working on all the pre-math skills that are needed and preparing for not only in pre-K, certainly, but and also in kindergarten. In that time, too, they also have lunch time. They have the time in which they get to repeat that fun morning again, and we have lunch in our cafeteria for 30 minutes. We also have some breakout times in pre-K. We have block time. We call it block times, but they have access to music, PE, and art throughout the week, and same within kindergarten. And then at the end of the day, there's usually a little bit of a quiet time where everyone gets to settle down just a little bit. And over the course of the year, that time changes over as we especially in pre-kindergarten, right? Kind of start a little bit longer of a rest time or quiet time and at the beginning of the year, and then moving on to the end of the day. Certainly, we pack up. There's lots of there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of activity. There's a lot of stations. And just certainly working on on their literacy skills and their vocabulary skills and language throughout the day, and in formal and informal ways. When we're thinking about building that cognitive development at the early stages, it's such an important part for of the day and an important foundation of the program in both kinder and in pre-K. And then at the end of the day, we pack up and load them back in and send them back on their way just as we receive them typically. But it is an active day and filled with all kind of exciting moments throughout. But I know we'll go into that a little bit more, but those are some of the highlights. And there's always a playtime in there. I forgot the recess and playtime, and that's an important part of the day because we do factor in play into as an important part of language and behavioral development as well.
Absolutely. So I know we have some smart tips. So Abby, can you kind of give parents some tips to help them get ready for pre-K and kindergarten over the summer?
Yes, absolutely. So I was a pre-K teacher for 10 years, and then now I'm in this role. So I kind of have just some background experience of what it means to send your little baby to pre-K for the first time. And I'm also going to be a first-time mom sending my kid to CCISD next year. So that's new, new and fun. So here are just some top tips that we were able to get from our pre-K teachers and some of our kindergarten teachers as well. So the first one is to go ahead and get started with a morning and bedtime routine, and start that in early July because it takes about 30 days to form a habit. So start thinking about what that looks like to have a good bedtime routine, because kids need about 10 to 12 hours of sleep to be successful. So I know I need that. Our little kids need that as well. So start that in July. And then the next one is to read to your child every day. So we're going to do lots of read alouds in school, in pre-K and kindergarten. So what that looks like is just practicing being a good listener when reading a story. Practice those good reading behaviors like sitting quietly, answering questions, and then just what they notice throughout the book. So what do they see in the illustrations? Do they see letters that they might recognize? You can do so much with just a simple book. So reading every day. The next tip would be practice listening and following directions. We do a lot of social emotional learning in pre-K and kindergarten. And a lot of times if they've only had one adult in their life, they don't know how to follow directions with a new adult. So do it in a fun way, like playing red light, green light, Simon Says, following the leader, just different fun games that you can interact with your child to practice those skills before they come to us in August. The next one is working on being independent when using the restroom. So they're here with us all day long, and that's a long time. So practicing being able to tell the adult that they need to use the restroom and what that looks like to go on their own. Obviously, we will help our little pre-K kids and our kindergarten kids in whatever way we can, but practicing that before they come to school would be great. Number 5 would be give your child jobs to do at home. So give them a task, a responsibility to do at home so that when they come to school, they are having some of those responsible choices that they're already doing. So a job like setting the table, putting away their laundry, cleaning up their toys before they move on to something new. Because they will be a good citizen in their classroom with those skills. Number 6, practice using scissors correctly. So that'll be a new fun tool that they will have in their toolbox at school. But practice using scissors safely. We cut paper, we cut whatever our teacher is asking us to cut. And a good little tip that we always play is that your thumb always goes up. So when they're cutting, your thumb is always up. So when you're playing with your kid at home, give them those safe scissors, but practice with your thumb going up, thumb to the sky. Number 7, making academics super fun, go on a letter hunt. Look for letters, numbers, or colors throughout your environment. So right around your house, whatever that looks like, go on a walk in the parking lot of your apartment complex, go on a walk around your neighborhood, look for shapes that you recognize, look for letters on the license plates, start talking about what those letters look like, what they sound like, any of those pre-academic fun, so that when they come to school, they have some background knowledge of what that looks like. A couple more. Number 8, playing games with your child to practice taking turns. So there's a lot of ways you can do that. Candyland's a fun game. Uno, Slapjack, anything with cards, any game that you have in your home that you can play with them. But this is also a really good thing to practice learning to wait. So I know that with technology, it's really hard to wait these days, because even as an adult, when I'm sitting and waiting, I play on my phone. But we don't have all of that at school. And so practicing what that looks like to wait in line at a restaurant, at the grocery store, at going to get your hair cut, practice by playing I Spy games or doing little finger plays with your kids, seeing 5 Little Ducks or singing the ABCs, so that they're practicing not using something that they don't have at school. And then the last 2 tips, number 9, create a fun I love you ritual when you're saying goodbye. And practice that before you come to school, so that they know that, grown-ups come back, that this is a safe place for them to go. But when mommy and daddy or grandma and grandpa or their loved one is dropping them off, that they feel safe and know, okay, I can do this. I can go into school. And separation, knowing how to practice that before they come. So that's important for your child's success. And then number 10, talk about how exciting school's going to be, that's a big new step, that they're big kids. They're going to the big school. 4 and 5-year-olds, they're little, but they're ready. They're ready to be at school with us. And so make a list of what those reasons are with your child and talk about it throughout the summer, and then drive past your kid's school and wave as much as possible. There's my school. That's where I'm going to go.
Get them excited.
Yeah, so that they're ready to go.
Awesome. Great tips. And we're going to make this PowerPoint available after we publish this episode. If you're listening on the audio episode, you'll be able to click and see all these tips on your screen. So CCISD also offers support through other services. Can you give some information on other things that we offer, such as early childhood special education.
Absolutely. So we can talk about the Early Childhood Intake Center, which is an assessment center that we offer here for CCISD residents, ages 2 to 5. If you're not enrolled in school, if you suspect your child has a disability, you can call. There is a number in the PowerPoint, and you will be able to have your child screened and evaluated.
That is such an important piece.
It really is.
We can't stress that enough. If you know someone in the community, or you have a relative or a contact of someone who may be in that age range, and they may just have a wonder or a pediatrician conversation, just to reach out to check. The earlier we can identify maybe some small needs, the greater impact we have of intervening early and making those bridges really firm as we move into greater content. So if you haven't heard, we want all the students we can as early as possible. So that early child find is really an important piece.
Absolutely.
Christy.
And so you may find that at your daycare. It may be a behavioral need. It may be a speech need or an occupational physical therapy need. So just as you come across different scenarios, and you may wonder, and so just always call and be sure. And again, we evaluate ages 2 to 5, and that is if you have a suspected disability and you are currently enrolled in CCISD, then you contact your campus. But this is for the Early Childhood Intake Center, so these are ages 2 to 5. So if you have any questions, we'll have that slide available for you.
Awesome. And we also have a few free resources for over the summer, one of them being Ready Rosie. Can you describe what that resource is for our younger children?
Absolutely. CCISD offers a free subscription to Ready Rosie for all of our families. You don't have to have a student in pre-K or kindergarten to participate. And basically what it is it's a small, short video, about 2 to 3 minutes long, with a modeled activity for your student, for an activity that you can do with your student ages birth to 5. Like Abby was talking about earlier, the little fun activities you can play in the grocery store, in the car, while you're cooking dinner. Those types of activities are modeled for you to give you just some good ideas and some tips and tricks that you might need to do with your student.
And Abby, I think before we started the session, we talked about reading resources. Can you describe some online resources that we have?
Absolutely. So on the website at ccisd.net/literacy, there is some great videos that are available for you. So it talks about the literacy roadmap and what that looks like as a parent, and how you can really support and be a partner with us in the school district, and how that looks about how to read, and what we're looking about phonics and phonemic awareness, and what these big words mean. And how to help your student with comprehension skills and fluency. And so there's lots of videos on there that could help you getting your child ready for pre-K and kindergarten, and also if you have older siblings as well.
Absolutely. So if our parents and guardians are ready to enroll, let's talk through the steps for enrollment, because that begins on April 18th. Our new student online enrollment opens then. So let's talk through those steps and what parents need to know for that.
Sure. So the first step is to determine whether or not you qualify for CCISD. So we talked about the being 4 or 5, September the 1st by 2022. So if you're 4, you'll go to pre-K. If you're 5, you'll go to kindergarten. We talked about those eligibilities for free pre-K. The second thing you'll do is find your zoned campus and your assigned pre-K campus. Step 3 is complete new student online registration. And you'll do that at ccisd.net/enroll. And there's a link as well in the PowerPoint. So if you'll have that soon. And then you'll set up an account and follow the steps. If you have any questions at that point, feel free to reach out to your campus or to the early learning department. And then step 4, I believe the date is May the 2nd. Campuses will open to take your required documents, and so that you can visit your campus and turn those documents in if you've been unable to upload those documents.
And we have a list on the screen of those required documentation: birth certificate, immunization record, 2 proofs of residency, parent guardian ID, and student social security card. So those will be accepted by the campuses the first week of May 2nd through the 6th. And if you're not able to make it to your zone campus at that time for enrollment documents, then we also are offering a few things during the summer. We have a registration fair in in June. Can you talk through what we're going to be offering then?
Absolutely. So we'll offer a free pre-K and kindergarten registration fair at McWhirter Elementary School, June 13th, 14th, and 15th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. There will be data specialists on hand, as well as Spanish interpreters, English and Spanish, to help you with your online enrollment. So if you have difficulty doing that online piece, if you come to the registration fair, we'll have parent computers out and then people there available to assist you in enrolling your student online. And then we will go ahead and complete that registration process in one stop. And you will be able to register and find out your home campus and get a welcome packet to CCISD at that time with some of those tips and tricks that Abby was talking about earlier, and have that for you for the summer.
Awesome. And then if you can't make it to any of that, don't worry. We reopen our schools August 3rd to then accept all the required documentation as well. So you have some opportunities over the next few months to get everything done, everything in and ready to go for the next school year, so you can focus on getting your pre-K or kindergarten student ready over the summertime. And we're going to also offer some different activities during the summer. I think we have a reading challenge over the summer, and we also will probably have a parent information meeting towards the end of July. So be on the lookout for that on our social media pages. Is there anything you think we missed that we need to touch on?
No, I would just say, just to make your life, to make it easier to go ahead and start finding the documents here now. That usually takes them a little bit, maybe even tracking those down to start early. And just we hope that anyone who hears this or sees this will spread the word that we do have a great program for our students, and we want every young learner we can possibly receive into Clear Creek ISD for the upcoming school year. We can't wait to see them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, Sydney. I would just say that if you have any question about your eligibility for free pre-K, please just reach out. We'd be more than happy to walk through the criteria with you just to make sure. We like Dr. Hughes was saying, that we like all of the students. We want them all to come and attend, so we're here to help them qualify.
So true.
Anything else?
Just come. We're super excited to see your kids. Our teachers are amazing. They are the best teachers within the state of Texas, and they are ready to love your kid and to educate them. So come on out.
Awesome. Thank you all for being here. And you can visit ccisd.net/enroll if you have questions about the enrollment process. We have all the dates listed on there. And we have the steps to get into pre-K, the tuition, and the free ones, all the qualifications listed there. So until next time, we publish this as a audio episode as well. So you can subscribe to Car Rider Line through wherever you listen to podcasts, and you'll be notified whenever there is a new episode. We do these about every other week, so we'll be bringing you a new topic in a few weeks. So until then, we'll see you then.